Hi, this is Sophie. I know many of you have been reaching out to ask what's on the midterm. There's a couple things that we have not reviewed, so they will not be on the midterm. You are correct. So let me just give you a quick update. I hope you're enjoying your reading week. And I will, okay, so what should you know for the midterm? And also to let you know your assignments, they have been marked. And here's a couple of the good ones that we have out there. So you guys did some really great.
The company is currently looking to expand task action and invest in paid promotion, should run a contest. To increase gaining more likes and followers in some type of contest. Since Brazil has a very high percentage of internet users, they would also have a lot of people. Download the app through becoming aware of it through.
So thank you very much for your creative assignments. They were fabulous, and you have all of the feedback is now being put into the systems for you. So they've all been marked, and each of us have been giving you feedback so that you can know if you're going to take the 3 solutions that you've suggested and bring them forward into assignment 3 with your implementation and your costs on how to implement your 3 solutions, or if you needed to come up with a couple other solutions because some of you missed the point as to what solutions are. So the feedback is there for you so that you can do really well on assignment 3 if you missed the mark on assignment 2. So there, a solution here obviously is not Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. It would be the video series. So a lot of you got that, and really appreciate that those that did get that in the assignment. So congratulations. So the assignments for assignment 2 are marked, and all the feedback is being put in the system. You want to look at that because some of those ideas from your feedback will help you do better on the midterms. That's why I went there. So one of the things on the midterm is what is a digital solution and that kind of stuff. So the midterm is 90 questions, and it is multiple choice or true and false. So that's what you're going to be seeing there. You'll get 1 question at a time, and they're random. So you'll have 2 hours to complete it. Take your time on each question, research it. And so how you're going to research it is not obviously on the internet, but through the class notes, because we're reflecting the class notes, and the class notes are all derived from the book. So you're going to go through the book and look at the first 3 chapters the first 7 chapters. The details of all of those chapters are on the book, are in the midterm, including the digital revolution, which is the very opening chapter of the textbook and the first video lecture that we did. And then after that, you've got your 9 steps to your social strategy. You have your online digital principles, sex and age, how the demographics on digital, social media measuring tools, measurement tools, staying organized, and all of the concepts in the staying organized chapter, and then creating your social media policy and roles in your social media, roles in an organization. And then after that, so the first 7 chapters, everything in those chapters are on the midterm. And then after that, it's basically the first part of every chapter. And why is that? Because after that, you're getting into platforms. So in the midterm, I'm not going to ask you how do you set up a LinkedIn account, what steps do you take, but it would be more so what kind of human is on LinkedIn and what are the demographics on LinkedIn, and then and what's the distribution of posts on Twitter, for example. So you're going to find those questions relate to the first few sections of each of the platform chapters. So those are the things that you're going to find on the midterm. So, and I am looking at the wrong textbook here. Anyways, I am looking at an old version of the textbook, but that's okay, because if you happen to have this old version of the textbook, the only thing that I've done is I've taken out the Pinterest chapter in our current textbook. So you'll find that there's 12 chapters versus 13. So, and it's the same thing anyways. You'll find there may be a Pinterest question on there, and in the very first couple of chapters we talk about who's on Pinterest and who's on Facebook and who's on Twitter and all those things. So those are things you want to know. Okay, so that's very cool. So that is on the midterm. What else is on the midterm? What else is on the midterm? So you got your first 7 chapters entirely, and then after that, when you get to the platform chapters, just the introduction to each one and the demographics on each one and the high level aspect of each platform, not the tactics on how to implement them. Okay, and then we have all of your lectures. So when you go to your course content and you scroll down, you find the syllabus, and then after that, as you know, all of your keep on going. It hasn't moved. It's been there all semester. Every single chapter is elaborated on from the textbook as a video on the blackboard. So if you've been staying up to date and going through them, you'll be able to do absolutely fine on the midterm. So you can go scrolling through here, and you'll see all the aspects of all of the chapters and all the video lectures. Sometimes the video lectures aren't working in the thumbprint, so in all cases I of course have the YouTube link for you just in case. So up until here, up until chapter 7, all the aspects of these video lectures, which reflect the textbook, are on the midterm. And then we get into the case studies that you want to be familiar with. What are the concept of the case studies, and what kind of solutions would you solution to some of the case studies? We don't get into too much detail on the midterm in this. You'll see it's just very high level. You will get into a lot more detail on this in the final. And then here we have the end of the chapters, which we start talking about from 8 until 12, all the platform chapters. So again, there are all of the details you need to know for the textbook, for the midterm. And there you go. So what else can I tell you about the midterm? There was I had suggested that on the midterm you would also be responsible for knowing about the survey that I have just sent out to a number of businesses in the community and across Ontario. But I haven't taken that up with you guys, so that will not be on the midterm. So do not worry about that. And the only textbook that we're reflecting on the midterm are the ones that are from the Sophie and Associates textbook that you have, and those are the ones that all the videos are about. So it's all that one textbook. So someone else had asked about that. So so that's cool. And so good luck to you on the midterm. And it will be up on, as we said in the course outline, on Monday, this coming Monday at 9 a.m. It's going to go live, and so Monday at 9 a.m. and it'll be live until Friday at 2. So Friday at 2 it cuts off. So if you happen to be in the middle of it, it's just going to save whatever you're doing, I believe. So you want to try and get it done at least by Thursday, so you're not caught with any type of technical issues. So try and get your midterm done by at least Thursday of next week. You'll have from Monday until Thursday to do it. I would do it during business hours, just in case you have any technical issues. I've been finding that the system is slow at around 3:30 every day, so this is new, so be careful about that. I find it's pretty fast earlier in the day, so I'm not sure what's going on. It's only been a couple of times, but it's been consistently at 3:30, so I don't know what's with that. Anyways, so that's Twitter participation. Thank you very much. Again, Twitter is in the week, pretty much in the couple of days that I put the tweet out there, you want to be replying to them It doesn't count if you're replying to a tweet that's 3 weeks old or that's 2 weeks old. You got to reply to a tweet within the week. So let's see if we can find one. So what you're always looking for is one that has Sophie Marketing Tips. You're going to my Twitter handle at Sophie Andreu. You're scrolling down, and I know that this week is reading week, so I'm not putting any out there this week. After I realized it was reading week, I stopped putting them out there. But here's one on October 19th. 90% of videos, 90% view videos with the sound off. So this would have been from last week. So those of you that answered, there was 24 of you that would have gone here, looked at this, and a lot of you had some really good suggestions. So I really appreciate that. So what happens is 90% of people watch videos with the sound off. So there are tools out there that will automatically put captions on the videos. So I was asking, what tools do you know of, and are there any that will actually do it on your cell phone? That would be really cool. And then here is another one. Oops, that's not one. So you just have to go through and look for the ones that have the hashtag. And the easiest way to do it, as I showed you in the very first video, was to go like this, search for at Sophie Andreu, and then put in the ampersand hashtag Sophie Marketing Tips and search for that. And that's going to bring up, if you go from latest versus top, that's going to bring up everyone that's talking about it, which is pretty cool. So anyone that's been talking about it, you'll be able to see all of the activity in the class if you're interested in it. As you know, you can't copy someone else's and send that as your comment, whether it's on Twitter or on LinkedIn or on Instagram, that we're going to do next, because that's plagiarism, so you don't want to do that. Why else don't you want to do that? Because we're getting you ready to be a marketing professional, and if you're going to post for a business, you're never going to copy another business's tweet or LinkedIn comments or Instagram and use that as your own. So you don't want to do that in this class either. And because this is considered to be an assignment, it would be considered plagiarism if you did that. So be very careful. If you do like what this person is saying, there's nothing wrong with retweeting it and saying, hey, I agree with what Scott's saying, you know, so that's kind of cool, and that counts as your Twitter world participation. But I do suggest you want to have your own in there saying what you believe in. Sorry, giving your examples, because I'm asking you in more cases than not to be giving your examples. So so that's very cool, and thank you for everyone that have been participating. I enjoy going through and looking at your responses, and we're going to continue that. Next week is the last week of Twitter, and then this week we've got 5 weeks of this month there's 5 weeks of October, so you'll get an extra week of Twitter in there, and then we'll start the following week on Instagram, and I'll probably be doing that through Instagram stories, Instagram TV. So what else I want to tell you? I think that was it. So Twitter, you know, it's still going to be 4 weeks of Twitter, because this week you have a reading week. So I'm not going to ask you very many questions or any questions this week. I'll start up again on Monday. And good luck on your midterm next week. And thank you for everyone who submitted their assignments. We've really enjoyed watching them. And don't forget, on your assignments, you need to, as these guys did, you need to indicate citations as to where your content is coming from. So you need to indicate where did this video come from, for example, and how did you create it, or where did you get the video content from. So some of the videos were very creative. This is one of the assignments that we're talking about, the types of videos that they would put together, video series for the place up north in the Kawarthas. So again, the visuals were supposed to be about what you're suggesting. The visuals weren't supposed to be just pretty pictures and and flash and stuff like that, but it was supposed to be what you're suggesting. So those of you that did that, like example of posts, examples of your contests, examples of your auctions, examples of whatever the series of e-content was that your digital solution portrayed, is what your is what your is what the visuals were supposed to be. So some of you were still just talking heads, which was not the point. So you would have received that in your feedback. Some of you thought that Facebook itself or a calendar was a digital solution. That's not a digital solution. That's how you're going to implement your solution later on. You might recommend that they use a calendar to keep themselves organized. You might recommend that since their target market is on Facebook right now, they take these digital solution that's engaging, that causes trust, that's actionable, and they can measure, and they put it out through maybe Facebook or the appropriate channel. So thank you very much, and I think that's all I wanted to share with you right now. And good luck next week on the midterm.